Hey Credit Warriors, Credit Shifu here, and today we are looking at this new Amex Gold credit card in the UK, okay? So this is a video about UK credit cards for US people. Although you can't apply for these cards, it may still be interesting for you guys to see the comparisons and the differences in a different market. So anyway, let's get going with this. So the Amex Gold Charge Card has existed for a long time in the UK. They've also got the Platinum, the Green Card, just like you have in the US and other countries. But recently, this year, they decided to change the Gold Card from a charge card to a credit card. Now, for existing holders of the original Gold Charge Card, your cards won't be affected, but it seems they are no longer taking new applications for the Gold Charge Card. It doesn't appear on their website. You can see there they have the Platinum Card, the Green Card, but the Gold Card does not appear. The Gold Business Charge Card, though, is still available for new applications. But if you already have the personal charge card, you can keep it. So now what they're taking applications for basically is the gold credit card. So let's have a look at it. It comes with a sign-up bonus, which they are kind of secretive about, in that they, instead of just telling you at the beginning it's so many thousand points, they just say you can take a flight to over 100 destinations from London or from the UK if you spend 2,000 in the first few months. So basically implying you'll use the miles, the points and miles from the sign-up bonus, and you can book a flight to over 100 destinations. So, 100 destinations, well, Heathrow Airport in London has, probably the most destinations out of anywhere, any airport in the world. So, there could be 100 destinations within Europe that you can go to. And if you scroll down the page, you see that this sign-up bonus is only actually 20,000 points. So good luck getting beyond Europe on a return ticket with 20,000. It may be doable, maybe go to North Africa or something, but basically it's going to be flights within Europe. Sign-up bonuses in the UK aren't that high, so you can't expect too much. And this is because of rules around credit card transaction fees and stuff. They just make less money in the UK. Their margins are tighter, I guess, so they have lower sign-up bonuses. In addition to the sign-up bonus, there is also a 10,000 point annual bonus if you spend £15,000 or more in a year on the card. And I think that's doable for most people with a middle-class income if you use this card as your main card. That would be only, I think it's like £1,250 pounds a month that you would have to spend on the card. So doable for, I would say, middle class and up, Alright, so let's now look at how many points this card earns from spending. Alright, so it earns 1 point per pound spent. For the Americans out there, a pound, it's about maybe $1.4, depending on the exchange rate. Sometimes goes down to about 1.3 or up to 1.5, but that's about the range. You earn 2 points per pound spent on tickets directly with airlines. And you also earn 2 points per pound spent on foreign transactions. Now remember that, foreign transactions, because that's a little bit significant. We're going to talk about something to do with that later on. You also earn 3 points per pound spent on Amex Travel. So booking hotels and flights through Amex Travel, and those are membership rewards points. So for the earning, obviously it's a great earning rate with airlines, 2 membership rewards points per dollar. Obviously not as good as some of the ones we have in the US, but anyway, 2 membership rewards points per dollar, and you can then transfer those to 12 airline transfer partners and 3 hotel partners, which we'll look at in a second. But I just want to talk about basically, if you have the British Airways Amex, the blue one that's issued in the UK, you only earn 1 British Airways Avio per dollar from spending on British Airways, right, or any spending. If you have the Gold Card, you earn 2 points per dollar, which can then be transferred to British Airways Avios at 1-to-1, so you get 2 Avios per dollar. So you'd actually get a better rate if you have the Gold Card. Obviously, if you have the black British Airways card, which has an annual fee, the rate is higher. I think it's 3 Avios per dollar, so you'd want to use that one if you have that one. Now, let's have a look at the airline and hotel transfer partners. So there are 12 airline transfer partners. I'm putting them on screen now, including British Airways. You also have Emirates, Singapore Airlines, if you want to take the flight I took last weekend with the massive business class seats, or even the first class suite. Very, very nice. And you have Emirates, you have Virgin Atlantic, you also have SAS, which is a Swedish airline. They have a great business class as well. So you have some, some European ones that's kind of different to the US version of these cards. There's also 3 hotel transfer partners, which include Hilton and SPG/Marriott. So you got quite good choice with hotels as well. And there's also 2 what they just call other transfer partners, non-hotel and airline, which is Eurostar, the train that connects London and Paris, and also London and Brussels, etc., which is really useful, actually. That's definitely a great, that they're doing something specific to Europe and having points transferred to Eurostar so you can book train tickets. And also Nectar, which is the points currency of Sainsbury's supermarket, I believe. UK people know what I'm talking about, right? It's been a while since I've lived in the UK, so I'm not really up on it either. But anyway, yeah, Nectar cards, that's from Sainsbury's supermarket. And one more travel benefit from this card is you get Lounge Club membership with 2 free passes. So if you only travel once a year, you can get in for free from you and a guest. And then after that, additional passes cost £15 per time, roughly equivalent to what Priority Pass in the US costs. If you don't have free passes, $27 each time. Actually, a little bit cheaper, but anyway, approximately the same. The annual fee for this card is £140, and it's waived for the first year, and that's the same as the old charge card, actually. And now we're going to look at one more benefit, which is pretty unique to the UK, and is maybe the reason why some people would prefer to get the credit card over the charge card. And that's because this credit card is regulated by the Consumer Credit Act in the UK, including Section 75 of that Act, which basically says that credit card companies are held jointly liable with merchants for the delivery of goods. So if a merchant has ripped you off, the credit card is actually just as liable as the merchant, and you do not need to first contact that merchant, reach a stalemate with them, and then contact the credit card company for a chargeback or something like that. You can just directly go to the credit card company, or you can contact both at the same time. You can't claim through both, though, double the amount. Okay, you can only get the original amount you paid back, and this covers spending from items that cost between £100 and £30,000. So most common items would be between that level. Now, basically, charge cards aren't covered by this act. Now, I assume Amex charge cards do offer some consumer protection in the UK. I can't look at the terms and conditions because they've taken it off the website because they're not publicly, taking applications for the charge card, the gold charge card in the UK anymore. I'm sure they offer some kind of consumer protections, but they're not covered by this Section 75 of the Credit Card Act under UK law. So it just basically, it has stronger consumer protections for cardholders. Oh, and it also covers foreign purchases and online purchases, and it can be particularly useful if a merchant has gone bust and you can't contact them. They're not even replying to emails and letters. You can just go straight through the card company, and they have to assume responsibility for those goods not being delivered. So that is one big reason why many people may go over to this credit card instead of the charge card. And if you do want to do that, if you are one of those people who currently have the gold charge card, you can apply for this credit card, but it will actually be a separate application. It doesn't seem like there's a way to product change, although correct me if you have information about that, but it doesn't seem like that from the documentation available on Amex UK's website. You won't be eligible for the sign-up bonus either, because basically you've probably already had a sign-up bonus on the gold charge card. Unfortunately, they're not going to give you another one. If you do have both cards open, you can actually have both cards at the same time. You don't have to cancel your charge card. It won't be automatically cancelled when you apply for the new credit card, so you'll be liable for 2 annual fees. You can, however, just cancel the gold charge card and apply for the credit card instead. Now I'll talk about one con of these cards, but it's actually not really a con of the gold credit card, because the Amex charge cards in the UK seem to have the same situation, is that they actually charge foreign transaction fees of 2.99%, non-sterling transaction fee. Now that's kind of unusual for me. Living in the US is basically any Amex charge card, gold, platinum, I'm not sure about the green, I have to check that, but anyway, the good ones, they don't charge foreign transaction fees, Basically, any decent credit card in the US isn't going to charge foreign transaction fees. It's kind of strange. But in the UK, a lot of the well-known credit cards and charge cards, they actually charge foreign transaction fees, and the ones that don't charge are more of these kind of obscure, ones. Like my dad had one from Halifax bank, which is a decent bank in the UK actually, they do some quite good rates on stuff that had no foreign transaction fees. If you do a search, you know, the logos and the names you see, it's not really the most mainstream cards that have no foreign transaction fees. So it's kind of a, you know, a different situation in a different market. And, you know, that's just basically a con of these cards and any other, you know, Amex cards, that they are charging this 2.99%. Now, I did say that the 2 points per pound on the overseas purchases was significant, and that's because there is a foreign transaction fee, so they're basically kind of giving you a discount on that. You're getting 2 points back, which roughly could be equal to, say, 2% of the amount if they're 1 pence per pound. Okay, pence is Britain's version of a cent. 1 cent per dollar, 1 pence per pound. So, you know, the points will be roughly worth 2%, so you're actually being charged 0.99%, if you think of it like that. And also, if you transfer those points over to transfer partners, you may get even more value out of them if you're booking business class or first class. So they may actually be worth 1.5 pence per dollar, per point. It's sometimes hard to get more value out of them if you're flying out of the UK, because the UK has ridiculous taxes and charges on, you know, flights. So yeah, but you could probably squeeze 1.5 pence per point in value, which would cancel out the foreign transaction fees. Again, that's just cancelling out. It's not earning extra. So just be aware of that, you know, just because your cards are like, whoa, it earns 2% on foreign transactions, yeah, let's use it. No, because you're getting charged 2.99%. So, you know, think about it. Maybe you use this card at home, booking your flights at home, and you take a different card, like a Halifax one with no foreign transaction fees, on a holiday with you. All right, guys, so that was basically my introduction to this gold charge card. To the UK people out there, I'm sorry if some of these parts I've kind of bodged over. I live in the US now. I'm not super familiar with some of the regulations in the UK, but I'll put a couple of articles from Which magazine about this card, and also about Section 75 of the Consumer Credit Act. Which magazine, if you don't know, it's a great magazine from the UK, sort of reviews of consumer products, including consumer finance products. So I'll put those articles below. You guys can check it out. And for the Americans out there, what do you think of this product? It differs in some ways for the worse, some ways for the better. For example, the gold card in the US doesn't have the lounge access, but it also doesn't have foreign transaction fees, so, you know. But yeah, if you want to leave your comments, what you think below, that would be great. Join the conversation. Please subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you next time with more credit card tips and tricks. Tomorrow, actually, we'll see you with a review of an amazing business class seat. Bye-bye.